the witching hour, where you're invited to tune in and drop out. Join us and settle in as you're guided through a trilogy of healing journeys to awaken, connect, and inspire. This is the witching hour.
Hello and welcome to the Witching Hour. You are here with Mandy and Leah and Jenny. We're having a few technical difficulties, but we are going to be with you.
Do you guys hear that backdrop there?
Yeah.
Did we already do the intro? Okay, cool. Thanks everyone for bearing with us.
Now we're back on Skype.
So do you think, ladies, that our intro played, or should I play it?
Go ahead and play it. Give us another.
Restart. If you're tuning now, people, we're in 7 retrogrades, and we had some technical difficulties. So we're going to restart right now.
Welcome to the witching hour, where you're invited to tune in and drop out. Join us and settle in as you're guided through a trilogy of healing journeys to awaken, connect, and inspire. This is the witching hour.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Witching Hour. I'm Jenny McDaniel, one of your hostesses, and with me today I have the beautiful Mandy Elam and Leah Sugar. Leah, how are you doing?
I am feeling really, really great today, actually. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but energetically vibing like really high, taking all of these retrograde and ascension energies in waves, and I'm just trying to flow. So feeling pretty good, considering.
Good to hear. It's all we can really do, just try to flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mandy, how are you?
I am really good. I also had a weird night of sleep, and I ended up skipping my morning routine and sleeping in, which I haven't done in forever. And then I had some wonderful clients up until now, so I feel really alive and in tune. And I'm glad you guys brought up flow, because that's been a really big theme for me today that has been coming up in a lot of my readings with clients. And I'm seeing a lot of this water energy, and many of us don't have much of a choice but to flow right now. So I definitely am glad we brought that up. How are you doing, Jenny?
I can't complain, except for 2 minutes before our live show started, my whole internet went down, and I'm running around the house trying to figure out if it's my router or if it's just a weird quirk, and it was just a weird quirk. So we're back on track, only a little bit behind, so it feels good to go with the flow, even when things aren't going with the flow. More ease and grace when things don't go how you want them. That's where the spiritual gold nuggets are, is managing that. Are we perfect at it? No. Sometimes I want to kick things, but generally alchemizing that stress and anxiety into acceptance is going to service us more than anyone could ever imagine in these next coming years, months, decades, that things are going to be shifting and changing. So if everyone hasn't noticed, the universe is asking us to chill and to just be cool with not knowing everything, not knowing exactly what's going to go down, unsure of things. This is testing us, and we choose to be here, so it's something we wanted to play ball with. But I'm doing pretty good. It's sunny here, just north of Albuquerque, and I want to let everybody know this is the Witching Hour. Mandy and myself are the Alchemy Sisters, and Leah is the Green Witch Village, and we're here every Friday, and we do a trilogy of guided meditations. But we have something new on the burners, and because we didn't get a chance to communicate too much before the show, I'll just kind of give everyone a little bit of information without letting the cat completely out of the bag. But Green Witch Village and the Alchemy Sisters are planning, and Oregon Original Works are planning a retreat near Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're going to make our own organite, and if you don't know what that is, I suggest you Google it, because it's going to be very helpful for any 5G issues people are going to be experiencing with sensitivities and feelings. It helps us with the EMF radiation ways. So we'll be making organite, and I'm sure she'll have some magical ones for sale too. And then we're going to have a cacao and full moon fire ceremony, which happens to fall on a Saturday on Halloween. So if anyone's in the area around Halloween, definitely get a hold of us. We're going to be having some ceremonies and a fun time. And on Sunday, I'm not sure exactly what's going to be going down, but we're definitely going to be doing some yoga, doing some readings, doing some channeling, and doing some healing. So it's going to be a good old-fashioned witchin' weekend, and that's the name of it. Ladies, you want to add anything? Did I forget anything?
Excited, and it's going to be wonderful to co-create this with this group, and it's just going to be a really nice container where we kind of get to see and spend time with all aspects of ourselves. There'll be healing and laughter and celebration and movement and creation, and it's just going to be really wonderful. So we're calling in all of our witches, and we're excited to have a wonderful witchin' weekend. What about you, Leah? Anything you want to add into it?
Yes, I am just so like hyped about this. It feels so in alignment, and Mandy and I were kind of chatting earlier about just like the magic of the Samhain portal. It's oftentimes associated with like the witch's new year. It begins our descent into the darker half of the year, where we really are able to connect with these ethereal realms in a much more intimate way, but also like the deeper parts of the self, right? This is the portal of the year that takes us into the work of the shadow if we allow it. And so, with everything that 2020 has brought us so far, I have, no doubt that things are just going to get more crazy before they settle down a little bit. And so why not use the magic of this 4-year and of this full moon Samhain portal to really commit to just getting to know our higher selves and our intuition in a really intimate and powerful way, but also in community, right? Like let's lift the energy. Let's have these ceremonial spaces, and let's get really raw and really primal and really deep in this old magic. But then let's party and let's celebrate and let's just enjoy each other. Like we all deserve it. We're doing the work. We're showing up, and let's have a little bit of both, right?
Yes,
absolutely. I'm so sorry, Mandy. On one of my other podcast networks, Third Eye Political Radio, my friend Sarah, who will probably be a part of this whole Witchin' Weekend, she and I introduced her to the idea on air last week on our Tuesday show, Downward Dogma, and she's like, yeah, I want in on that. But I go, I can't tell you what's going to happen. I mean, we might turn into wild animals. I mean, we might turn into werewolves at the full moon at the stroke of midnight, and I can't promise anything. So if you shapeshift, I mean, we're going to have people signing waivers. I tease, but seriously, it just so heightened. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And but like that is totally my speed. And I love that we are, I feel like with 2020, just everything being what it is, at least in my life, and hopefully this resonates with other people as well who are kind of, on this journey of ascension and transformation, I feel myself really calling in this deeper connection with people who really, really resonate energetically, right? Like I feel myself just kind of moving out of this era of like, well, this is what it has been, and this is what I really enjoy, and this is what's comfortable, and this is where I have a foundation, so this is where I want to be because I love this, right? And I'm moving into this really raw, real existence of like, you know what, if this isn't it, if this is not in alignment, then like, it's not in alignment, and that's okay, and we're moving out of this. And so I feel, and then I think also collectively, we're really reconnecting to this old, like, excitement and anticipation that comes with, like, we don't know what's going to happen, but, like, let's embrace it, and let's get really, like, into the nitty-gritty. Like, if we're going to shapeshift, if we're going to call some magic in, like, let's just do it. Let's own it, and let's be in those spaces, because those are the spaces, like, that's where we're being called, right? This is where we need to be. If we're going to own this, if we're going to do it, let's be there. Let's just do it.
It's exciting.
It is.
I told Amanda about it, who's so sorry again, Mandy. I was talking to Amanda about it, and she's like, I wish I was throwing dope parties like that. I'm still working on my confidence. I'm like, we are all throwing dope parties, and we are all doing our part no matter what that looks like.
Absolutely.
Showing up for it, just doing internal work, throwing big parties. It doesn't matter. It's all movement forward.
Exactly.
Everyone's going to do it at their own pace and how they want to. Go ahead, Mandy. Sorry about that.
Oh, don't be sorry at all. We're always in sync, sister. No, I'm just echoing everything that the both of you are saying. And I want our listeners to know as we're getting excited and hyped around this and we're inviting people in. If you're interested, feel free to send the Alchemy Sisters, the Green Witch Village, an email or a message. Let us know you're interested because we have been already offering this to our clients and it could fill up quickly. So if you're hearing about this, let us know. And we're literally like one of our requirements for like locations is making sure it's okay and permissible that we howl at the moon. So we will be releasing some primal things. There will be the laughter, the cheers, the healing, but it's going to cover all of it. So we just are excited and we hope you want to come and hold some transmutive space with us.
And just so everyone knows, we're going to be having some VIP action over at Heart Over Ego in the near future. And while we're throwing this retreat over Halloween, a few days before Halloween, we're going to be recording some professional material. So look forward to that as well. I know it's about 4.5 months off, but the way this year is going, it just goes so quick. Before you know it, you'll be driving to Chattanooga to howl at the moon with us, and you'll be getting, not long after that, some professionally recorded material. So again, look forward to that VIP group we're going to be gathering up over at Heart Over Ego Radio. And that's where you can find us. You can like and share and tell everyone. You can keep up with all of our information and all of our content over at Heart Over Ego Radio. We also have something at the Alchemy Sisters. Over at Instagram, we also have the Alchemy Sisters, Heart Over Ego Radio, and Green Witch Village. So get a hold of us. You'll know the lowdown. We'll keep everyone informed. And if the world cracks in half before Samhain, we'll see about putting a Band-Aid on her and throwing it for a summer or a spring solstice or equinox.
That bridge and rearrange when we get there. Jenny, I wanted to call to attention to our listeners. This past Saturday, we hosted a really heartfelt and nice discussion around the racism wound, which we talked about a little bit on this show last week. And it's something that's just rising for everyone right now. And it's a deeper level of healing. No matter how it's affecting you, it's calling you to go in more. So Leah, Jenny, and myself, as well as 4 other amazing sisters from Heart Over Ego Radio, hosted a really nice panel discussion and looked at lots of different options, ways of healing, points of view, to go a little deeper into this. So if that's something that's been affecting you and you're looking for a resource, please check out Creating Heaven on Earth from this past Saturday, because there's a lot of nice tools for you in there. Ladies, anything rising with both of you and your clients around healing this week that we can offer to our listeners?
I have to say I have really mostly been doing a lot of research and a lot of listening. One of the things that I brought up in that discussion that we had last Saturday was, growing up and living and spending most of my life in the South, especially working in the field of like holistic health and wellness. I am very much in a bubble of white people and white privilege. So even the opportunities to really listen to someone's experiences or have uncomfortable conversations are really few and far between for me, because where I spend most of my time is, in an industry that caters to white women with able bodies. So I've done a lot of research and listening. I actually signed up for a course called Do the Work that I found via Instagram by friend of mine recommended it to me. The lady who is hosting the course is Rachel Cargill. You can find her at rachel.cargill, Cargle. It's a free course, 30 days, called Do the Work. It all comes to your inbox. And it's just a lot of inquiry questions and, a lot of internal unpacking that's being prompted. So, I'm starting there, and I'm excited to see what unfolds for me, and hopefully I'll be able to find myself venturing out of this bubble with intention, and really able to, find change within myself and do the work there and then watch that ripple out. So we'll see. I think, especially, like as yoga teachers, as white women in the world of, holistic health and wellness, we really have a seat at the table to really spark change if we can do so with intention and with respect, and in a way that, of course, creates a safe space for Black and Indigenous people of color to be involved and co-create and share and educate all of us if they so choose. So, you know, anything I think that we can do to be intentional within first and then move out. I don't know, I kind of went on a rant there, but hopefully that makes sense.
That's a good resource, Leah. That's a great resource on Instagram, and we'll even put that on the show page, how to spell her name again, and so people can get into that, and it's the least we can do. This is what I've run across, not necessarily with my clients, but with me, because I'm in like full-fledged reflection space. I'm prejudiced against white people. This is what I've come to. I wanted to look at my hate. I wanted to look at my anger. I wanted to look at where I can alchemize fear and stress and hate into lighter energies. And it was around white people. I was triggering around just the thought of the centuries of our behaviors and our energies. And it made me realize I need to start being less prejudiced toward mainstream white people, which is weird because I'm a mainstream white person. But I really had to go there and just start healing my anger toward our behaviors, because I feel so far from that. But I'm not. I'm white. I'm American. I'm sure some of my lineage at some point owned Black people, for God's sakes. I hate to even utter those words, but I'm sure it's there. So I've been looking at my anger and alchemizing and trying to really move that around, my anger toward specifically white middle-aged women. I love women. I love people. But in this looking and reflection, I found that I'm angry at regular people. Now I say regular people as if I'm better. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination. But what gets me mad is when people don't look at what's going on and they get on that hamster wheel and they keep thinking about their daughter's graduation, their daughter's marriage. When is she going to have babies? You know, it's just, I don't see a lot of people paying attention that should be paying attention. And I had to cut myself off right there and say, none of your business where they're at on their path. So that's what I've been working on. It's tricky to be white and mad at white people. It's odd.
I honor you both so much. This is something I studied a long time ago, like the real true work of understanding my white privilege I did in college when I was doing social work stuff. And so it's been something in my wheelhouse for a long time now. And I'm such an American girl. I'm like Dutch, Irish, German, French, British, Native American, Chippewa, and Chichansi. And then a bunch of other stuff popped up on our ancestry thing. So who knows? But I do know that I'm a very, very old soul, and I've been fighting this fight for a very long time. And one of my most recent lifetimes I've shared before on this network was I was like a 12-year-old Black boy who got shot. And like I would visit my funeral all the time in this lifetime in my dreams from like, I don't know, 3rd grade to like 5th grade. And I was really obsessed with like slavery and all this stuff. And my mom was like, where would all this come from? You know, we didn't know what we know now then. But I'm hearing that within clients and stuff too. They have really magical children who are tapping in and who are coming in awake and remembering a lot of things. And one of my clients has a 3-year-old who's talking to a lot of spirits right now and whatnot, and stories are coming through. So I just want to say, whatever is rising in you, take that moment to look at that shadow. Just like Jenny said, you know, I had to get really clear on who and what was triggering me and why. And sometimes that's a group or a population or a certain relationship or certain things, but all of it is meant to help us on our own personal paths and our own sovereign ways of healing, whether it's from this lifetime or past lifetimes within our own soul. And so we have been taught to not look at the dark or to get scared or tell ourselves we're having bad thoughts. And if we look at it that way, then we're terrible people. But actually, I think that that's where we can find a lot of the healing, when we look at our own perspectives and our own wounds and what we can do to transmute that into more acceptance for the individual's journey and into trusting the universe. So I just thank you both so much for sharing so openly and honestly about that, because it's important and it's potent, and other people are thinking all of those things too and need to know that it's okay to go down that road because it's fostering healing. So thank you.
Absolutely. We can't just keep shoving everything under the rug. It ends up like this. It will keep showing back up. It will keep showing back up. If your brakes are making a weird noise and you just ignore it, pretty soon you're not going to be able to stop and you're going to have a lot more work to do. That's what racism is doing. It's getting worse and worse until it can get better so that we can focus in on it. Lots of things are coming to that pitch, and it's very exciting. Ladies, should we start our journeys?
I think so.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
All right, everyone. I'm going to start us off, and then I'll hand us over to Leah, and then Leah to Mandy, and that's your trilogy. So if you listened to last week's episode, you can find all of our archived episodes at Heart Over Ego Radio on any major podcast app. You'll know that we're going to go to the second planet of the Pleiades. There are 7 planets in the Pleiades. Last week we went to a more looks a little more earthy, but a lot of water, a lot less land planet, and that was fun and exciting. We made an instructor, and I'm going to be just as surprised as you about where we're going next. So if everyone will just find their breath. You do this by noticing your breathing. Once you notice your breathing, you bring awareness to it, and it brings energy and amplification to it. So as you notice your breathing, you might even notice you're breathing a bit more deeply. And just to remind you, with every breath you take, you breathe in light and love. And with every exhale, you breathe out anxiety and stress. And you just naturally do this, just like you naturally breathe. And just realize that with every breath you take, you become more and more relaxed. So relaxed. Your eyes are becoming heavy, and if they're not already closed, you can close them. And then suddenly, your third eye opens, and you're seeing from your mind's eye, and you notice a huge field of rolling hills. All you can see are rolling hills. Huge fields of rolling hills. There is one tree and one tree alone. And you and I are sitting underneath it. And I say, are you ready? And you say that you are. And you're just going to follow along with your mind's eye as we journey to the Pleiades. So, just like last week, we have the Pleiades laughing and saying, we don't need ships, but just for imagery, let's use one. We teleport. That's how most high-vibed aliens, as you call us, move about. But as you can see above the tree, there's a large spaceship, and we get beamed up, Scotty. And they're laughing because they laugh at all of our space Trekkie kind of movies. And they're saying, welcome back, gang. We've been looking forward to taking you to the second planet of the Pleiades. This is really quite precedented for us. We've never taken large groups on visual tours of every one of our planets. It's just not something we normally do, and we're very pleased that we get to do it with the Alchemy Sisters, the Greenwich Village, and you. This is very, very exciting for us, and I would like to take you very quickly to where we're going because I know that we are limited in time. We don't have time here like you do, but let's just play ball with you guys since you guys are limited in that way. They're kind of giving us a little grief of being limited. But what he wants you to know is that as we travel in this spaceship, you can see the constellation of the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. And as we get closer, we see that beautiful planet with all the water that we visited last week. And just beyond it, and I say just, it's many hundreds of thousands of miles, but just beyond that is the next planet in the Pleiades. And this one looks purple. And I'm like, what's going on there? They're like, this one's one of our more populated ones, and it has a lot of energy here. It's kind of like your guys' San Francisco. It's got a lot of population of a certain type of energy. And I'm like, looks sweet. Looks like an amethyst. And they're like, the whole planet's an amethyst. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And they're like, well, it's made of other things too, but for your guys' mind, we'll use some basic terminology. And yes, it is a planet made of rock and quartz and a lot of amethyst. And I'm like, sweet. And so we're kind of like starting to come in for a landing, right? And I just noticed all these crystals everywhere. There's houses that are crystals, cathedrals carved out of crystal. And I say, I've seen this one before. And they're like, we've given you a glimpse of this one before. This is one of, again, our more populated areas where a lot of our even more spiritual than the average Pleiadian lives. And I was like, oh, sweet. He goes, again, like kind of like your San Francisco-y kind of energy. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And so as we land, I hear a clink, the metal hitting rock. And they open up the doors and we pop out, all of us, because it's kind of like a clown car, but a spaceship. This is what you can do in imagery and energy. Everything is possible. It's so much more fun than regular life. And we just all crawl out of there. And I'm like, this place is incredible. The trees kind of look like Christmas trees, but they're like jade chunks. And they're just sitting everywhere. And again, building after building, all made of crystal, different kinds. It looks like crystal quartz, pink, or rose quartz, amethyst. I see some jade. I see some other stuff. It's a whole planet of crystals. And you and I are, we're just looking at it like we're Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Like, can I start chiseling some of this off and take it with me? Can I just pick up one of these houses and bring it home? So cool. Statues everywhere. I'm seeing light beings. I'm seeing Pleiadians. They all kind of have a similar see-through, shimmery, kind of iridescent thing going on. And our leader says, right this way, everybody, right this way. And the Pleiadian, who has been guiding us, is taking us, different guide, by the way, last week. He's a little more assertive. It's fun. He says, right this way, gang. We have no time to spare. And so we keep walking, and I see that we're walking to that cathedral. It's like really tall. It looks like a crystal castle. And it's made of many different kinds of quartz. It looks awesome. And there's a bunch of us, and we are just heading right to that chapel because we want to get inside of there because we know there's going to be some magic. He ushers us in. There's some pews. We sit down, and we're facing what appears to be Jesus. Actual Jesus is right there. And he goes, didn't think you were going to see me here, did you? And I was like, I don't know. I kind of knew you were an alien. And he laughs. And he is going to be our preacher. Okay, we got Jesus giving a little sermon for us today in the Pleiades, in the Crystal Castle. It doesn't get cooler than this. And so Jesus is standing there, hovering, actually. He goes, yeah, when you defy gravity, you don't really play in that field anymore, and you get to float. And I'm like, not too shabby, my friend. He's floating there. He starts floating around us. And he's bringing his energy, and he's putting it in our crown chakra. He's like, everyone on this trip has been here before. Anyone curious in your guys' work is absolutely going to be a Pleiadian in some way, shape, or form in a parallel life. I want to do healing on all of you because I appreciate you. And you were ending the age of Pisces and going into the age of Aquarius. And I want to give you as much as I can energetically and hold space while you guys go back to the real world and do the work that I started so long ago. And so in this Crystal Castle type church, he is like not even physical anymore. He appears to be in the ethers, and he's surrounding all of us with his incredible strength, incredible desire for justice. We already have it. He's just amping us up and clearing us out. He's going into that third eye, and he's twisting and moving it, and he's squeezing it, and he's opening it, and he's like, see through fresh eyes. Then he's down in our throat chakra, and he's clearing out all kinds of heretic energy, ones where we were called witches, ones where we were called devil worshipers, one where we were called the bane to existence. We've been called every name in the book, and it doesn't matter because they're just words, and we're heart energy, and it's our desire to come in and just consume that ego and turn it into heart. He's just very proud of the crew that we have here. And so now he is in our heart chakra, opening up space. We've got Mary Magdalene coming in with pink energy, putting a dot of pink inside of our beautiful green chakra. She says, I have to come in for the lower chakras. And I say, Mary Magdalene's taken over for the lower chakra. She gets into our solar plexus, moves it, grows it, makes it bigger. She goes, make it as big as the room. It's going to take every piece of courage you have where you guys are going. Just like with us, we knew we were going to die in the workings of bringing justice. It did not matter, not that you all are going to die, but just bring in that courage of not even fearing death, not fearing the unknown, coming in with incredible faith that will blow any other faith out of the water. This is the true resonance of your soul, is to have faith in these uncertain times. Sacral chakra, orange, she's opening it up as big as the chapel, and she's merging our chakras in with the walls of the crystal castle church we're in. She's like, I want you to always be connected to this. Everyone that's hearing this will in some way have a sacral connection to the Pleiades, the level of passion and love and justice around humanitarianism and in just entities of all sorts, shapes, and colors. You all are some of the most evolved healers, and we are going to give you a little heads up and a little bit of a head start. We're going to always be pumping your sacral, and she's also kind of gearing in the root chakra with this, and she's just pumping our root chakra, and she has a little piece of advice for us. She says, you know how in the Bible it says the meek shall inherit the earth? Bullshit. She goes, yeah, meek and heart energy, but it's going to take a backbone of a razor to get through this. Now, what she's saying is, I'm putting in all of your root chakras, with her permission, a touch of Joan of Arc's absolute faith in listening to her internal voice. And then that is going in our root chakra, and Mary's setting a piece of her energy, as well as connecting us to this Pleiadian castle in our sacral chakra. So we're definitely getting some high-vibed warrior women sitting in our chakras and saying it's the least they can do for what we're doing. They just appreciate us, and we're doing the same work as they do. They can't do it physically like we are, but they are doing it energetically. So Mary and Jesus are standing up. They're not standing, they're floating in front of the pulpit, I think you call it. And they're merging energies, and they're turning into one flame, and they're gone. And so what we have is the Pleiadian guide coming up and saying, well, aren't you special? He doesn't come and preach very often anymore. And we're like, oh, yeah, I guess that was special. Thanks. He goes, I got to get you back to the ship. Leah's guides are saying we've got to go into an internal quest, since we've already just popped out your third eye and your crown. We'll hand her over to do the internal work. And I say, all right, let's go, guys. We file out of this amazing quartz chapel, just admiring the ground, which appears to be made of some sort of gold or something very shimmery. It might just be fool's gold or something. It's crystal. It's just gorgeous. And the sun feels amazing, and all these beings are kind of around watching us, and they're just kind of saluting us and saying, we see that dimension you're on. We're going to send you with extra compassion, and we are just taking it all in because we need it. And we all stuff back into that spaceship as if it's a clown car. And we're pulling up out of the amethyst planet. We will absolutely come back here again at the future. We only saw a piece of it. And I see that we're heading back in the direction of Earth. And while we're here, we're just acclimating from the pressure, different gravity pressures of each planet. And we're coming back, and I can see our Earth. She's beauty. She's pretty. Could use a little work, but she's good. And I bet that's how aliens feel about us when they drive by. Like, look at that planet. It's really quite gorgeous. I'm getting closer, and then we're going to land right next to the tree, and we all pile out because we can. And I sit you underneath the tree, and I say, everyone, close your third eye even. We're going to do a little clearing before I hand you over to Leah. So everyone's just going to close down their third eye just a touch, because we're going to go inside as opposed to outside this next round. And I'm just surrounding you with white light and letting you sense that energy coming from the ground and the tree, the only tree in the field of rolling hills. And I'm going to pass you off to Leah.
So giving yourself some space here to settle into this dimension post-astral travel. And with the third eye closed to your comfort level, begin to bring your awareness to the space between the eyeball and the eyelid. And just using this as a touch point to feel into the body physically, but also like energetically what's happening here. So as we are on this journey of ascension and awakening, you may find that the third eye begins to give you visualizations or words or messages of intuition of some sort, however that shows up for you. And just use this space between the eyeball and the eyelids as a touch point to keep yourself grounded here in the physical as we work the higher to the lower chakras here. So begin to find the breath once again if you've lost it. And then let's bring our awareness to the physical body and just allow it to soften a bit more deeply. So if you're sitting, if you're lying down, if you need to adjust, to create some extra space, to get heavy and held and supported, giving yourself some room here. Taking this next moment or so to physically make yourself comfortable as we allow the integration process to happen here. Staying with the breath. Reconnecting with it, focusing on that touch point, the space between the eyeballs and the eyelids, allowing this to keep you grounded here. A few more rounds of breath to settle. And then I want you to begin to notice the third eye vibration. So what does your third eye energetically feel like in relation to your physical body? And with this awareness, if you so choose, we can begin to maybe open just a touch more. Perhaps we invite it to close. We feel overwhelmed. But I want you to find your level of comfort, of expansion with your third eye. So allowing yourself to become connected with this center and also these higher realms, these higher chakras, these ethereal dimensions for our own healing and educational purposes. So whatever is happening in your third eye is totally up to you. You be the determiner. You are in full control of your experience. So finding a level of vibration that works for you today, and that might change in a day or a week or so, but finding something that feels good for you here now. And breathing trust and love and gratitude into that vibration as we find it. Let's take 5 more rounds of breath here. Couple more rounds of breath. And then I want you to ask yourself, and we'll channel this answer through our intuition, through our third eye. What is it that I can do for myself right now? So we're all on a very similar journey of ascension, of transformation, of healing, but we all have ego, right? We all have our own personalized path. So as Litha approaches the summer solstice, and as we reach peak waxing of the sun, what is it that I can do for myself now? Because we can only serve others and the collective if we serve ourselves. So listen to what intuition has to say for you here. Take a couple more rounds of breath and just notice. We don't have to attach ourselves to this answer. Just witness, just listen. Just noticing what arises for us here, and then let's bring ourselves back to that touch point, the space between the eyeballs and the eyelids. Can you soften the muscles around the eyes, the lines of the forehead, soften the muscles underneath the eyes and down into the jaw, maybe creating some space between the teeth. And as we create space in the body, we create space for integration, for transformation. So from our touch point, space between the eyeballs and the eyelids, pull awareness into the throat. And from the throat, pull awareness into the heart chakra. And let's begin to open the heart center here so that we can be receptive from these higher dimensions, these higher realms, from those around us who are also showing up to do the work, to spread the love, and then from ourselves as well. Let us open to a place to receive healing, restoration, love, gratitude, breathing into the heart space. And then we'll soften the body from here. Awareness in the heart space. Awareness in the heart space. Awareness in the heart space. Awareness to soften the right shoulder. Awareness to soften the left shoulder. Awareness to soften the right arm. Awareness to soften the left arm. Awareness to the womb space. Awareness to the womb space. Awareness to the womb space. Awareness to soften the right hip. Awareness to soften the left hip. Awareness to soften the right leg. Awareness to soften the left leg. Soles of both feet. Soles of both feet. Soles of both feet. And let's breathe our awareness here and feel the soles of the feet begin to open and spin energetically as our vibration shifts and we connect to earth energy. We did this a bit last week. And when we open ourselves to receive from these higher ethereal realms, we want to maintain our connection to Mama Earth as we move through the physical here to do the work. And so Gaia is coming through to say, remember, you are always held, you are supported. As I heal, you heal. As I heal, you transform. As I heal, you ascend. And as we do the work as a collective species, she too is moving energy. She is clearing old hurt, trauma, stagnation, just as we do. And so feel these lower chakras begin to connect and merge, allowing ourselves to be conduit for earth energy just as much as we are for ethereal spirit energy. A couple more rounds of breath here. She says, you are held, we heal together. Allow yourself to trust that this is true. Know that we are in this exactly as we should. Everything is aligned. Everything is on time. And then let's take a moment to sit with Gaia, with Mother Earth, and just give a collective, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. We are learning to be better, to live in harmony, to live with balance. And she lights up and she glows this like beautiful golden color. And she's like, I know, I see you, I thank you, I feel you. The other side of this is going to be so much better for all of us. And she holds us here energetically. Bring your awareness back to the soles of the feet. Soles of both feet. Soles of both feet. Awareness to the back of the left leg. Awareness to the back of the right leg. Awareness to the low back. Awareness to the middle of the back. Awareness to the back of the neck. Awareness to the crown chakra. Awareness to the throat chakra, awareness to the heart chakra, awareness to the sacral chakra, awareness to the root. And then we'll breathe ourselves back up into the solar plexus and just resting here, feeling the courage, the trust, the strength that we channel from the Pleiades, our connection to the Earth Mother. And I leave you here in this energy of creation and manifestation as I pass you on to Mandy.
So as you're feeling comfortable and released in your beautiful body, I invite you to come back to the tree Jenny brought us to, with the rolling green hills. You take a breath and kind of feel your body again. And you sit up under the tree. When you look to your left, see a bathtub, a beautiful bathtub. It's cast iron, overflowing with steam and bubbles. You stand up and you walk over to it, and you hear a whisper. This bath is here for you, only for you. And your heart feels warm, and you say, well, it's been a long time since I took a nice long soak, so why not? So as you get into the bathtub, you start to slide in and you feel the nurturing, healing waters start to relax your muscles. It's a little steamy, but not too hot. It's just perfect. In this bathtub, the most amazing bathtub you've ever experienced. Feels like it was designed just for your body. Everything is covered and you're completely comfortable. And you look out and you see rolling hills. And the afternoon sun is beginning to set, starting to warm you and your bathtub even more. You close your eyes and you take a breath. And you hear, hello, sweet bean. And you say, who is that? And she says, I'm the Divine Mother. And I wanted to come down to give you a little nourishment. I noticed your soul is a little weary at this time. There's a lot rising on your planet right now. And I just want to remind you how held you are. You chose to come. You chose to incarnate at this time to grow yourself, others, and the planet. And sometimes that can be a little tiresome. And sometimes it can make you weary. And I want you to remember that any time you feel that way, you can remember this experience you're having with me and come back to it. Earlier on your journey, you visited a planet that had an abundance of amethyst. And I'm so excited that you got to sit in that energy because amethyst is especially healing. It really helps us to release negativity, stress, and anxiety. It's one of the stones people through some of their darkest moments. It helps their hearts to open wider, to break open, to allow it to support them. It helps to purify the mind and release negative thoughts, and helps your crown chakra to expand. So anytime you need a little extra love and nurturing and support, remember to use amethyst. And right now, I'm going to give you a little bit of Reiki, and I'm going to use some amethyst energy to help you with that. So if you would, while you're soaking in your bath, take a nice deep breath in. You may smell some rosemary and some mint. I put that in there just for you to help nurture you and stimulate your senses. There's also quite a bit of salt in there to purify and balance. And as I'm giving you this energy and this Reiki, I want you to remember that you're not alone. And everything you're going through right now is happening for you and for a reason. To help you to awaken, to help you to ascend into the best version of yourself. You are perfect the way you are now. There's always room for growth, and you will know that within you. This amethyst energy really helps with intuition, and it's really important for you to know that you, as a sovereign being on this planet, are incredibly intuitive. You have wonderful skills that you can access at any time. And I'm here to remind you, are intuitive. You are knowing. You know things. Sometimes it doesn't make sense in your logical mind. And sometimes you need to think on it a little. But almost always you go back and say, I knew it. I knew I was right. So I'm here to encourage you to trust your psychic hits, to remember that you are psychic, to believe that you are. I know it's easy to question it and say, that didn't really happen. I didn't really know that. But I'm here to remind you that you did, and you do, and you tune into wonderful, beautiful frequencies all the time without even knowing it. Maybe the next time it happens, take a breath and say thank you instead of no way. I also want to remind you that you are alive here now. And as you travel and journey to other dimensions and connect with beings, I want to remind you that you chose to be here for a reason, to ground in all these messages and skills. Many of the other beings can't be seen or can't, show themselves to us the way we want them to because of the confines of our dimensions at this time. But that's why we chose to come here, so that we, here on the earth, can do the groundwork to open up the dimensions and the confines a little and invite in other beings and ways of life. So I want to remind you that your time on earth is precious, and you did choose to come here. Even on the hardest days, there's always something to be gifted to you. Today is a day to practice your gift of intuition. And remember that you are connected to your own inner vision. It's really important to remember that your inner sight can help you to see your life's purpose. And if you're having a hard time finding your life's purpose, remember at the very foundation, your life's purpose is to be happy and to share love. So start there. Know that your inner vision is strong. Sometimes it may feel vague or out of reach, but I want to confirm to you that you are very capable of being strong and that your vision is strong. You have strong instincts from your intuition. This allows your intellect to expand and make decisions based on what you already know. Your intuitive self works for you and with the universe. Remember to pay attention to it and allow that information to support you when it comes in. I'd also encourage you to develop a little bit of trust, not only with yourself, but with me and Spirit and your angels. And know that in a time in the world where it's really hard to trust other people or information or things that you may once have thought you knew and now you found out you don't, know that at that time of distrust, you can develop more trust with yourself and your higher self, with myself and with Spirit. And we are always here for you to help you to stay connected to your true path and your purpose. When your intuition is vibrant and you have confidence in your inner knowing, it's really easy to have that trust because you're able to see the synchronicities more and more. The more trust we have, the more we're able to connect with Spirit. And I say this because it's not the easiest lesson, but it's one that we're all working on. And I want you to know that the more you can trust yourself and your intuition and make choices for the highest good, the easier it's going to be to start mending and trusting the other beings on the planet. I also want to remind you that you have unlimited possibilities. And as we've been activating your third eye and trusting your intuition, it's important to know that you may see things beyond your wildest dreams. And to allow that to happen, if something comes in, don't say, oh, I'd love to believe that, but I don't. Say, wow, how amazing would that be? I invite you to work on your spelling and your intention and to see how incredibly clear and beautiful you are and how possible it is to bring all of these incredible things into your reality. Know that you are powerful beyond your wildest dreams and that the universe is conspiring to help you. And it's okay and it's safe to fill your mind with loving, healthy, positive, and prosperous thoughts. We've been taught so much to criticize and to stay in a feeling or a world of guilt and shame and resentment. And I think we all agree that that does not serve. I know you pray often about it, and you're ready to invite in more. Remember that you are beautiful and you're amazing, and that if you support yourself, others will support you too. It is okay at this time to release the pain that the past may have caused and to invite in joy and contentment and freedom and forgiveness in this moment. It doesn't happen overnight, but the more conscious you are of it and the more active you are in forgiving yourself first and then others, the more room and space we create here on this planet. All of your decisions are where your true power lies, within your actions, your reactions, and your decisions. We come down here to this beautiful planet, to this beautiful earth, to create our world from our inner world. And when our inner world is at peace and harmony, then our outer world will be too. So one of the best things that you can do to combat all of the challenges on earth right now is to start combating the challenges within yourself. You are perfect as you are now. And as a challenge comes up, I invite you to shift your perspective a little bit, to perhaps look at it from an angle that you didn't before. Perhaps use your third eye and zoom out and look at the bigger picture that's happening. And then look down to yourself and talk to your inner child and tell that child what it needs to know and hear most in that moment. Because if you do that, it will ripple throughout the world. I'm so grateful that you chose to come and spend this time with me. I'm going to leave now, and I just want you to know that I love you, and you are held, and you are loved, and you are safe, and you can come back to this bathtub and this journey at any time you need a fill up or a time out or a reminder to trust yourself and the universe. And you open your eyes as you're soaking in the bathtub, and you can feel the Divine Mother's presence drift away. It's almost as if she activated you, like you are more psychic at this time. So you take a breath and you reflect on all of the amazing experiences that you just had. And you thank your angels, your higher self, your spirit guide team, and all helper beings who were with you today to help you on this journey. And Leah, Jenny, and myself thank all of you for tuning in and for being with us here on the Witching Hour. We are grateful for you. We appreciate you. We hope you can join us at Witchin' Weekend in the fall. And we're sending you so much love. Have an absolutely wonderful weekend. And remember, you are amazing, capable, and intuitive.
You are listening to Heart Over Ego Radio, a network of shows offering healing and guidance for your beautiful journey. Tune in on Mondays for the Alchemy Sisters, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. Tuesdays, tune in and tune up. Body Awareness and Self-Care, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays, One for All is Love, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursdays, Unbound with Cynthia Martin, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. Fridays, The Witching Hour with Green Witch Village and the Alchemy Sisters, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And on Fridays, Rain Radio, 10 Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Saturdays, Creating Heaven on Earth, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And Sundays, Every